My intuition, guys, I want to discount the value of intuition. Intuition is huge. But it's not about test cases. Intuition helps you to look into something. Intuition helps you to go to the right place for information. But definitely it is not a replacement for requirements. Product requirement document. We have two documents, business requirement document and product requirement document. We actually looked at that when we looked at the test documentation questions before. But business requirement document is more about how people use the software. Product requirement is more on technical side, what that product should be about, so people can use it in business like that. So definitely product requirement is maybe more interesting, but business requirement is extremely important to you as well in understanding of how people use the software. So then you, it is not just about test case by itself, but it is also about importance of what we do. If we employ that 80-20% concept, so let's say 20% of our time, if we prioritize our time correctly, 20% of our time will give us 80% of the result. So not all the requirements are the same in importance. Not all the test cases are the same in importance. So, and we never have enough time to do 100% of things. Is it clear? So we have to prioritize. We have to do that risk analysis. And business requirement document gives you a lot in understanding of the bigger picture. And without understanding the bigger picture, you cannot do much on a smaller picture. Because smaller picture belongs somewhere on a bigger picture. Okay. Meeting notes. See, most of you, maybe you don't know what it is. If you have a meeting, and there is someone who does the notes and sends them to the team, keep them in a separate mailbox in your mail application, email application, because what do we discuss when we go to meetings? What we do, what we test, how they develop, what are the features, what are the meanings, what are the changes. So sometimes you can run into that, and it's very, very helpful to keep meeting notes somewhere. Okay. Sometimes, yes, sometimes it goes even up to the level of execution or functionality, so you can extract test cases out of that. We'll develop the product first, forget about it. The purpose for that is, when I give you that option here, imagine the company is 3 months before the decision point. Either they're out of business or there is another tranche of money given to them to finance further development. Is it clear where they are? They are in survival mode. Nobody will tell them anything, good or bad, if they have documentation or if they don't have documentation. But investors look at them and say, okay, it is worth investing more money. So you might have a first version of the product released with no documentation. They just talk, or they have napkin, conversations. But then they survive and they get more money, and now they say, okay, we didn't do it for the first release, but let's say for the second release, eventually we have to do it the right way. So why don't we guys write requirements? And then they might say, okay, listen, just do the requirements. Look at the product the way it is, and just document that. So it will become like a requirement for future releases, for future round of testing. Is it clear? Sometimes we are involved in doing requirements, but it's not requirements. It's not requirements to be implemented. We just document undocumented requirements which have been implemented already. Is it clear? So that is why even if you did that, don't put it in your resume. Don't say developed requirements. Did she work in QA or in business analysis? You see what I mean? So from the classic standpoint, we do not write requirements, neither before or after the release. Emails from customers. Oh, you give no value to that. Emails from customers normally do not come to QA. They go to who? Marketing, come on. Technical support, customer support. So, and they might forward those emails to us, so we check what's happening. Doesn't happen very often, and it really depends what kind of procedures they have in a company. But if it comes to you at some point, it is very helpful in understanding how people really use things. So you might derive a couple of test cases. Okay, but again, your mind has to be focused on that, because some people, they look at information and they don't care, and some people are always in that mode of asking, what can I get out of that? So, test case. Okay. Emails, functional specification. So functional specification is basically feature by feature description of how that feature works. So in terms of contributing to test cases, that is the most effective document. Okay. That is the best one to have. Manuals and helps. Manuals and help are not talking about requirements. They are talking about positive kind of usage. Yeah? How people should use it. So you can derive lots of positive test cases out of there. Directly, in a very straightforward way. Obviously, if you have something which is positive, you immediately come up with negatives. They're just around. I mean, it's very easy. But it gives you lots of information if you have that. Use cases. Yeah, use cases help. Test design. Test design is about what? What that document is responsible for? Test design. If test design is not good, what's going to happen? If test design is not good, you will not test certain areas. So test design is about coverage. Guys, you completely ignored the homework, because we have that question, we have that answer. It looks like you are kind of, if that trend continues, guys, it's going to be a disaster. I can promise you right away. So test design is about coverage, and I told you about wood and leaves. You remember? So wood is test design, and leaves are test cases. So test design is about all that branching, which brings you to the right place when you cover that feature with test cases. So it's about everything being tested. If test design fails, means certain things are not going to be tested at all. Can you imagine barrel for, I don't know, wine barrel or maybe salt cucumbers? But guys, you keep talking all the time, and I don't know what's wrong in that. I mean, maybe you have to really sit in different corners. Imagine barrel. Okay, it has lots of vertical pieces. Okay. And imagine that barrel is old, and vertical pieces are kind of destroyed partially. How much water you can put in that barrel? What is the maximum water? Maximum level of water possible in that barrel with lots of vertical pieces destroyed partially.
The first broken piece?
The lowest level of broken piece. Same thing here. You might have perfectly tested product, but then you have one area not tested at all. Just happens that way. It will determine the overall quality of the product eventually when it comes to customers. And people use it in a system way, not, you know, piece by piece, but at the system level. Then you're in trouble. That broken piece will determine the maximum level of quality for the whole product. Is it clear? So that is what test design does. Third-party publications, so we have 70% here. When we look at any specific product, what makes it unique? Technology behind. Something you cannot see. You just look at the interface. Okay. Who knows that technology? It could be. It might have hundreds of patents, behind. But you don't know. You just look at that piece. What could be unique? Combination of features. But feature by feature by feature, each and every feature is likely to be seen in hundreds of other products. Is it clear? Let's say saving files. Oh, yes. Shopping cart. Sure. See? So if I have a feature to test and it's not documented at all, there is a pretty good chance that feature is used by many, many companies and many, many products, and it is somewhere documented, either in a book or some PDF file, available online. So it might be very, very helpful. And now think about this. When developer develops certain feature, certain code, how developer knows what to develop? You are secondary to developer, because first it has to be created. And we are saying, okay, we don't have requirements documented, but somehow developer develops that code. So there was something developer was looking at, maybe. Or I don't know, but definitely it might exist in some form. So we might ask developer what he used, so we can look at same thing. And whatever developer used might not be necessarily the right thing to look at. We also should keep that in mind. So third-party publications are very helpful. Very, very helpful if you have it. Okay. We will skip the login and password for a while. What is the difference between test case and test plan? Test plan needs to be approved by QA manager. Definitely, QA manager doesn't have to approve each and every test case. But it answers a little bit different question. So, yeah, you might say they are different in that, but it's not what, it doesn't explain the meaning of one document and meaning of another document, and what is the difference in meanings, in values, It talks about the difference in how it is processed. Or yeah. Test cases are an integral part of the test plan, 10%. Guys, we have it in our definition. I did show you today. It says, no? I did show you on the forum. It was saying, not part of test plan. I did say that for you specifically, so you do not say it's a part of test plan. It is not. Test cases are written by testers, test plan by QA manager. It is wrong. Test plan is written by all of us, not just QA manager. Test cases are about finding bugs. Test plan is about preventing them. Test cases are not about finding bugs. Test cases are about enforcing the requirements, implementation of requirements. That's it. Test plan is not preventing bugs. Test plan is just about organizing the proper QA effort. So I wouldn't say it's about preventing them. Test cases are about meeting requirements, which is true. And test plan is about test strategy, schedule, resources. Good. Yeah. Good. So that one was good. Okay. Describe risk analysis. Okay, we have most of you on that side. Actions taken to avoid things that might negatively impact the scope, quality, timeliness, or cost of a project. Yeah, it's a good definition. Shared responsibility among everyone involved in a project. Guys, 100% here. It is a shared responsibility. It's in your definition. You didn't look at that. It says shared responsibility. If you look at that page with test documentation, interview questions and answers, it says shared responsibility, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What else? Marketing, meeting, not really. What is test matrix? Aha, matrix of tests. No. Risk analysis methodology, format for specifying systems requirement, test and requirements are falling in completely opposite order. Requirements cannot be in the form of test or some test matrix. Test matrix. So format for specified requirements, unthinkable. Format for specifying the requirements, the one we talk about is use case. Data collection mechanism, which is true. It is a data collection debt collection mechanism. Okay, at least you know the debt. Okay, spreadsheet for organizing and presenting test data. Okay, let's talk about this one a little bit. We have strong support here because you see the word spreadsheet, which is kind of true. Organizing data, which is true. Presenting data, good. There is one word which disqualifies the whole thing here. That word is test data. Test data. Test data, when you think about the definition of test case, set of conditions and variables, so then you run into test data because you have the variables. Let's say when you test login and password, you have to create an account with certain login and certain password. That is your test data. When you test how your application searches certain data, let's say Notepad, okay, then you have to provide some data which you will search. So the text you put in Notepad to search in the future is your test data. If you test how database application will export and import data, okay, so the file you have is your test data because you have to import the database and it should be given in the form of a file. So that file is a part of your test data. Is it clear? So test data is like, I don't know, the wood you burn, you know, into the process of testing. Okay. In your fireplace. Okay, never-ending wood. Okay, just so test matrix has nothing to do with test data. You will need some data to work on what test matrix combines together. Let's say if you test browser compatibility and operating system compatibility, and then you have, let's say, 3 operating systems, and you need 3 browsers under 3 operating systems. So we have 9 combinations. To test that combination, you have to open certain, let's say, web page, and then you have to go to certain field, and you have to type certain string into that field. And you have to do that under different browsers, under different operating systems. So you have to type same string into 9 different places. What you type into that field is your test data. Okay. Okay. What is test plan? Good question. Oh, unanimous. Yeah. Okay, it's like Communist Party Congress. Everybody. Okay, document that describes the objective, scope, approach, and focus of software testing effort. Cool. Let me refresh, maybe. So it was, okay, it was 29 people, now it's 32, and still documents that describe four keywords, guys: objectives, scope, approach, and focus. What does this plan include? Good question. Steps to reproduce. Oh God. Guys, are you zombies here or what? What's that steps to reproduce? Test plan. Wow. I'm gonna cry. Personnel allocation could be expected result. 35%, guys. Expected result. So it's like a test case to you, huh? Testing priorities and focus, good. feedback from company management, I don't know. Risk analysis could be. Test matrices, not likely. Test scenarios has no meaning. Use cases, which are requirements, no. Real estate appraisal report, yeah, still. So the right choices would be here: personnel allocation, priorities and focus, risk analysis. That's it. I mean, it might have more, but out of that list, guys, look how easy you fail. You just see expected result, and then you have no, I mean, that's it. It qualifies for each and every answer. Not really. Guys, expected result, wow. Test scenarios, test scenarios is garbage. It is non-existent QA term. Test plan includes scenarios. And test plan is so generic in nature. It doesn't go up to the level of executing things. It's not about that. It's a battle plan, strategic document. And even if you put some meaning in the test scenarios, what would be test scenarios? Certain things to test. Multi-step combinations to be executed. Yeah, I don't know. System level test. No. Test plan is not up to that low level, same as test matrices. No, it's too low of a level. Priorities, yes. Focus, yes. Who does what? Yes. Risks. Certain limitations. Here we are saying, guys, there are certain things we do and there are certain things we are not capable of doing. We are not going to test this and this and this. That is our risks. So limitations of your test. Good. Okay, so we are done with the test. And was it difficult to do, or was it, oh, we passed, we skipped one question. Guys, was it easy or was it big deal? Tell me. Subjectively, what did you feel? Did you feel, oh God, I know all of that? No? No? I remember one graduate, he goes to internship. No, actually it was a job. He just got a job right out of school. And he goes there, maybe it was his first week, and I see him after first week, and I'm saying, so how is it going? He says, you know, Michael, monkey can do that. Guys, monkey cannot. Monkey can do it in a monkey way, I mean, but monkey cannot do it in a human way. So do not limit yourself to monkeys. Okay? Just a couple of words you remember, and whatever they ask you, when I was young boy, so my older brother, he was, oh God, it's a long story, but they took students, summertime, they send them to construction places, you know, to help to build communism, so by removing garbage from places, it doesn't matter. So at my older brother, he was sent to such a place, and there were lots of international students around working together with him. And so there was a Russian guy, and he was appointed to lead the garbage removal effort of a team of like 15, 20 Vietnamese students. But he was the boss. And they were communicating somehow. And my brother asked him, listen, how do you, I mean, was it easy to learn Vietnamese? I mean, you look so fluent. And he says, literally it takes just to learn 20 words, which are pretty much four-letter words. And so then he goes to Vietnamese guys and he says, listen, how is his Vietnamese? They say he speaks literally like a native, you know, speaker. So it's not like you have 4 or 5 words in QA, you know, and you just machine gun those words into people. No, guys, it doesn't substitute, you know, for what we are learning here. So lots of people speak Russian that way, just 20 words, and everybody thinks they're native. Yeah. Have to be right words. Login and password, am I right? Login and password, yes. Requirements. I will go to the computer because somehow that application does not support next line character. Okay. So let's do copy. Go to Notepad. Let's do it this way. Requirements. Okay. Login and password required. Login has to be valid, and password has to be valid. User can click on cancel if want to discontinue. There is no meaning to that. Really. Discontinue what? It's not like you have 5 steps, you know, have just, you type 2 words and, I mean, what do you mean cancel? Cancel what? Really, and it has nothing to do with that functionality. Okay, upon clicking on forgot password, it has nothing to do with password, login and password functionality. It's a different functionality. Forgot password is a completely different functionality to be tested differently. Upon successful login, user gains the access of system. What does it mean? Isn't it the meaning of this? Valid and valid gives you access to the system. But what is that? Okay. Positive. Login and password matches and user clicks on submit button. Guys, forget about user clicking on submit button. And you didn't actually say anything about submit button here. Where submit button comes from? Really, where does it come from? So login positive, number 1. Login and password matches and user clicks on submit button, accepted. It's not a test case. It's a purpose of test case. There is no test case here. There is no value you type in. And if you look at how we did it, testers, where is that? Regression, test cases. No? No, where is login password? Test case, test plan. No login, we didn't do it? We did, no?
I think we did it before. We did one time before. Like.
We did it, but I just don't have it documented here.
Yeah,
and we also talked about test data, guys. You remember? We need test data for that specific case. We need certain account, let's say Michael and Portnoy, and then you type Michael and you type Portnoy. We didn't do it? Okay, we'll do it next time. Just remind me. But the thing here is, you cannot say password matches and user clicks submit and that's it. Test case comes to the level of variables. That is what test case is about. Guys, you cannot confuse test case and kind of how would you test this. The question was not how would you test. Then it's enough. But the question is give me test cases, means give me exact values. You want a job, yeah? So do it the right way. Clicking on forgot password, accepted. What's accepted? Forgot password is a feature. To test that feature, you would need multiple test cases. You would need requirements on forgot password, how it operates. Negative. Okay, what's negative here? Type login wrong, password correct, not accepted. Type login correct, password wrong, not accepted. Guys, do you think there is some redundancy here? No. The thing here is you have combination to test. And you are saying, okay, one piece of the combination is wrong. And then another piece of the combination is wrong. But isn't it enough to do just one? We talked about equivalence classes, you remember? Equivalence classes. So all the inputs which result in same output. So we have one class which consists just out of one combination, valid and valid, and all others belong to same class, unless there will be different error messages provided. So then we have separate class for each error message to be generated. That is how it works. So login is blank, password is correct. Wait a second. But if login is blank, so then isn't it the same as login wrong or login invalid? And then look what happens. It says not accepted, submit button should not be enabled. I do not see any requirement here for submit button to be disabled. Guys, where is the requirement here? If you come with the test case, put it here in the requirements. It would be a nice requirement, guys. Very nice. Put it there. Is it clear? But how come you end up with a test case which doesn't have corresponding requirement? What are you doing? And you said, OK, I will come up with requirements. Come up with requirements. If that is how you come up with requirements, well, what's the point? Is it clear? You might come with 3 requirements, and then something else kicks in, and you write more test cases. Change the requirements. Show them. It happens. You do validation now. Yeah? You reflect the requirements, and you make them better. It's OK. It's OK to come later on with a new requirement. Nothing wrong. But having test case which doesn't match any requirement is not good. Login is correct. Password is blank. Who cares if it is correct? If another one is blank, who cares if it is correct? Login and password both are wrong. Makes no sense. That one makes no sense. You have something to go through. And it consists of 2 components. If one component is wrong, it doesn't go through. Another component is wrong, it doesn't go through. Now you are saying, let's do another one. What if both are wrong? OK, what is the situation which might happen, and you want to discover that situation? Really, I do not understand. So basically, it means you are saying, OK, it might happen that one is wrong, and we know the whole thing fails, and another one is wrong, and we know that one will disqualify the whole thing. And now we try both because there is a chance it will actually go through. If there is no chance, we shouldn't do it. See what I mean? It is redundant. The number 6 is redundant. OK, guys. I cannot go through all of those. OK, requirements. 32 characters, input, output, Latin characters. Input, output. What's input, output? What's output? Accepted positive. What's accepted positive? Small letters with valid password. Accepted positive. Capital login with valid password. Info message. Info message. Positive. Number login with, I don't know, guys. I would rather see more detailed requirements. Look at that. Look at that. Copy. Looks like copied from the right place. Okay, just OK. OK, what do we have here? That is requirements. Number 1, login password required field. Both. OK. Case sensitive. All characters are accepted. All characters are accepted. It is not exactly what you do with login and password. It's not like last name. It is not the place where you test that. There is a place where they create an account, where users create the account. And then there might be limitations on the input. It might say at least 1 digit, at least 1 special character, no more than this, no more than that. So when you create accounts, that is where you test it. Here, All characters are accepted. I would say it's very questionable because we don't care. It is either valid or not. Okay. To us, it's just about being valid or not. 6 to 15 characters are allowed. You might, again, you're not trying to make passwords which is smaller or larger, but you might say, okay, let's make sure it will accept 15. What if it accepts just 14? So in that way, it makes sense. Not accepted. Space between characters are not accepted. Test cases. Yeah? Number 1, positive. Letters, sha. Oh, what's sha? Last name. Yeah? It's the last name? I know one guy with that last name. Okay. Okay. So positive letters, sha, accepted. Positive digits, 12. If you do that, just do 1 digit. Don't do 2 digits. You want the minimum possible deviation from the correct one. Positive special characters. Sha, okay. Accepted. But wait a second. I mean, what should be accepted? Positive letter. Guys, for login, we do not test that, really. Letters, digits, special, we do not test that. It's not our business here. For last name, you will do that. For zip code, you would do that. For password, you shouldn't. It is totally outside of the scope of testing when it comes to login and password. Is it clear? It's just you are testing a text field, but it's not a text field. It's a specific functionality which is behind those 2 fields. And in the context of the functionality, the first one makes no sense at all. The first 3 makes no sense at all. It says here, obviously, all characters are accepted, and then it becomes the test cases, but the requirement itself shouldn't be there. It is not the requirement, proper requirement for login password. You can put that requirement and you can say, yeah, but because the requirement is there, my test cases are okay. Test cases are okay, but again, you cannot come with ridiculous requirements which show people that you are not that much of a tester, not that much of a user here. That one says you are not that much of a user because you talk about things you've never seen in your life. When you do login and password, it's not an issue at all.
So what we are testing then?
We are testing the ability of that application to protect data from unauthorized users. That is what we are doing. That is basically what we test. So the situation number 1, you know what you are doing, it lets you in. Situation number 2, which is all of other situations together. If you do not know what you are doing, you shouldn't get in. That is the testing, yes.
Aren't we as well testing like a positive test, ability of the system to retrieve your stored information about your password and login number from database?
We are talking about something which is behind. We are black box testers. We don't know what happens. When I provide login and password, definitely something is happening in the background. And I don't care what happens. I just know if I do the right thing, it lets me in. If I don't do the right thing, it doesn't let me in. So I don't know. It's like, the Pavlov dog. You show him food and then saliva is coming. If you think about the physiological mechanism behind, saliva coming when dog sees a food, guys, you run into big science. But it was simpler. Show the food. Dog is yours. Okay. Now, same story. Either it lets you in or it doesn't let you in. If you would do white box testing, then you will go into that and see how that validation of correctness is done. But we don't care. At the black box level, it's not what we are doing. We have requirements. We go up to the requirements. That's it. Negative, required field, empty, good. Error message, required field. negative, case sensitive. In the requirements, guys, oh no, we have case, both are case sensitive. Good. Case sensitive. Where is case sensitive? Where? I don't know. Case sensitive. But where is case sensitivity here? I do not understand. That is exactly the right one, am I right? So if you want case sensitive, then make it lowercase. And then it shouldn't let you in. And case sensitive has nothing to do with all those. Yeah? Is it clear? Case sensitivity is just about uppercase, lowercase. It's not about adding special characters. Invalid login password. 6 boundaries. No boundary testing there. Just no boundary testing. Oh, we want to make sure it's up to 15. It will accept 15. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. One character has nothing to do with boundaries. If it says 6 to 15, it cannot start with 1. It starts with 5 and 6, and then it goes into 15 and 16. But 1 is not the case. Yes.
So in testing, creating test cases for login and password, there might be two options. One, if already login and password exists, and then you check if it's valid.
Yes.
Valid.
Or
And another one, when a new user registers, then all these cases would come up in place. So password
okay.
already would not.
In terms of functionality and in terms of requirements, we have different features. One feature is called create account or register. Another feature is under security, which says login functionality. So creating is one world, and logging in is another world. And if you look at the registration functionality, it will come with 10 times more test cases. It has lots of fields. And I do not want to test one feature. I have to test another feature first. No. Moreover, if the create account feature is not implemented properly, create account feature, I'm not able to test login and password. Okay, so I have to test the create account first, and then after it passes, I will do login and password. Okay. Sophia gives me a hint. She says, break is coming. So guys, let me share my impression of what I see here. You just hear the bell is ringing somewhere. Okay, you just don't know where that bell is yet, but you are kind of, where is that? Okay, don't stop where you are. The fundamental thing here is not in coming with right test cases. The fundamental thing is in being able to come up with right test cases anytime you need to come up with right test cases. Is it clear? We are not fighting here for coming with login and password test cases. Not really. I mean, they will ask you that anyway. That is the question you cannot avoid. If you go to 10 interviews, you will maybe get that question 8 times. Specifically login and password. So you would rather come with a good set of requirements and test cases, but we have certain goal much beyond that. Whatever functionality it is, you write decent test cases and you write decent requirements, assumptions, and then you do the test cases. We are on the right track. And that is the good news. But we have to master that. We are not real good yet, but you will be. And there is nothing fundamentally important or challenging in that process. You just have to get used to that. And you have to kind of adjust to that philosophy, to the concept. As soon as you understand the bigger picture, so the philosophy, the concept, how one thing is requirement is related to another one, you will you will do it. It is not going to be a challenge. But if you learn it here for the rest of your QA life, I don't know how long it will be, in place. You're going to be the best testers around, because your conceptual understanding of things is going to be much better. And you cannot read that in a book. I don't know any book which teaches you that. Okay? Just so, guys, in terms of homework, I am creating a web page for homework to be there for the future. But so far, we are in the mode of working with test documentation. So in your book, you have the chapters which you remember those. So you keep reading that. And did you watch Yana Murza?
Just some parts.
Some parts.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a funny story. She comes to me, I'm not sure, this week.
Yes,
2 days ago. It was Tuesday maybe. She was teaching Tuesday night. And she comes to me and she says, Michael, guess what you did to me? I said, what? She says, that video was mentioned in some blog, very high level kind of blog. And the guy was talking about agile and quality. And he says, I did my research. Yes, I did my research and I found the brilliant, best of the best, blah, blah, blah. And then it's her teaching in our class. And then so her manager found that. And now they want her to do presentations and classes and teaching in the company where she works. So she is actually proud of herself. So. And that is a brilliant, real brilliant thing. So you just go through Yana talking about test cases and test documentation. And it is not just listening. It is also mastering that thing. So try digesting, try to talk about it yourself. Unless you can talk about it, guys, there is no value. Unless you can sit down and do the test cases the way she teaches. Let's say take login and password and do it the way she teaches. Okay? So that is pretty much what you have to do. And if you look at the online class, which is what? September, you use September class, yeah? So since we borrow videos from there, we have we have my video on test documentation. It is right here, session 6, pre-recorded webinar. I talk about test cases, and it is different from what I was talking about here. So it combines together, so it complements each other. And that is the red one, guys. The red one is exactly where we go through the quizzes and discuss quizzes. So that is to repeat what happened in the class today. So you have 2 hours of videos here. One, watch, blah, 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 and then you have another one, test cases. You have 2 hours of videos here. Okay? Good. So let's have a break. Yes, yes.